Yo, what's good, guys? It's your boy, Luke. I'm back again, as always. Today I want to talk about the black pill. That's like the online term. It's the idea that genetics determine everything, right? And like, everyone's like, well, kind of. Well, sort of. Genetics determine a lot about your life, like a ton. And let me just state this, guys, I'm not about eugenics. I'll just start it off with that. I think that God gave us all the ability to procreate, and to take that away from someone is a little messed up, you know? So yeah. So let's get into it. Pretty much, when I say genetics determine everything, this is mostly a dating thing, guys. Although, not fully. It branches out to a lot of different realms of your life, but a good bit of it does have to do with dating. So, like, let's get into it, guys. Pretty much, let's say you're wanting to be a lawyer, right? I mean, given certain traits, you just can't do it, guys. Like, your mental is almost fully genetic, as much as it sucks. Of course, a lot of you are going to be learning behaviors throughout your life and shit that are going to not benefit you. You're going to pick up detriments along the way. But that being said, you'll never be able to do it if you're dyslexic. And maybe you can do it, but not like the other people, right? Like, your stimulus cap is genetic. Your processing speed is genetic. I mean, yeah, you can slow it down a little bit or speed it up a little bit given your lifestyle. But the given traits are almost fully genetic, right? Your ability to work with words is very genetic, all this stuff, right? And don't take this as like a it's so over type thing, right? This is kind of a doomer type video, to be honest with you guys. But like, it's very real stuff. It's very real, heavily influences your life. Same thing with bodybuilding. In bodybuilding, I could work out as much as I want, right? And I'm never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. A lot of it is genetic. Your frame, the way that your muscles build, testosterone levels, all this stuff, right? Like, even if I did steroids like he did, and I lifted for as long as him, I just wouldn't look quite like him. And that's just the way things are, you know? And I feel like for some reason it's so niche in society to talk about this now. You know, it's like such a, what? Don't say that. Look, we have a guy and he came from the hood and he's a lawyer. Like, cool. Nice. I've been dyslexic my whole life and I'm able to do, like, nice. I'm saying on an average basis, these people are just getting fucked, right? But anyways, height determines a lot too, guys. There's some stat out that like 90% of CEOs are over 6 foot. And honestly, I think it's because when you're over 6 foot, there's two parts to this, right? There's the part of the self. So I'm over 6 foot, and like, I can say people perceive me very differently than shorter guys. I've never, since I got taller, I never got anyone picking on me at school, really, once I was taller, and like, no one would be mean to me. I kind of just stand out, right? George Washington was the first president because he was the tallest in the room, literally. Like, it just heavily influences the way that people view you, and not just girls, but also men. And like, I feel like when people have someone taller around them, they feel kind of safer, you know? They feel more protected and shit. No one fucks with me in the street, really. Like, no one really messes with me that much. People are just inherently a bit more scared of you because size is like an inherent quality that people take note of, you know? It's very hard to dismiss. And so, like, there's that part to it, that you're built up more within yourself, and there's also the aspect of you're more attractive, you're just more large, so people just attribute you with better things, right? I mean, it's a very real thing. I don't know what it is with it, but something about it, you know? And not to mention, like, on average, you're just going to be more confident, right? I think I already said that. But, like, short man syndrome, right, where short guys are like, what'd you say to me? And they're getting all angry and shit, and they're like all insecure. I mean, it's just a lack of confidence is what causes that, you know? But it's a very real thing, guys. Short guys are, on average, like that, you know? And it's weird too, because as a guy, there's kind of that whole thing where like the more undesirable you are, feature wise, the more you're gonna be a better person, right? So like, for example, fat guys have a tendency to be funny, right? That's a very common thing. You see that everywhere, pretty much. That a fat guy is gonna be funnier, right? And I think that the reason that everyone can attribute to it is that he tries harder. He learned to be having something, right? Because he already knows that people are gonna automatically dislike him when he's fat, especially girls and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of backwards, but it's just like how things are. I mean, it's kind of like it might have to do also with the halo effect in psychology, right? You attribute more attractive people with better features, so you think that they're more intelligent, more kind, more smart. I already said intelligent, more charismatic, all this stuff, right? Just by the way that they look, you just like if they mess up, oh, it was an accident, versus if someone ugly messes up, like, what are you doing? You know? But yeah, guys, your mental is pretty set. I mean, it's not to say that you can't improve it by any means. Of course, respectively, you can improve it, and it's 10 times easier today than it ever was before to get better. Because, like, bro, delete like 2 social medias, you're already way ahead of the curve of everyone. You know? Like, seriously, though. Like, it's 10 times easier today than it ever was. Because before, people were just bored. They'd just be practicing skills and shit. Now it's like, you're gonna pay me, you know? Type shit. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, everyone just looks up to people who are more genetically gifted. It's also like, this is interesting. I realize it's a little backwards from how you'd imagine it to be with girls, too. I feel like a lot of the very attractive girls are often very better. Well, okay, I'm talking from this perspective of like sexual purity, right? Versus less attractive girls you see going out and doing much worse shit because they feel like they have to prove their value, you know, versus attractive girls like, no, you know, all these guys, she's like, I need someone on my level, unless like her mental's off, right? Sometimes it's like that. But I don't know, guys, like, your genetics really are determinative of everything, pretty much everything, you know. If you're given a really strong addictive gene, it doesn't matter if you work really hard. If you're gonna go out and drink, you're gonna get fucked up probably every time, right? And that's gonna take your life way off track. You get ADHD, you're never gonna be as good, at least most of the time, at a lot of the academic stuff. You get autism, you'll never be able to go be a person who does interviews or some shit. It's just gonna be like weird the whole time. You're never gonna be a famous celebrity for their personality, right? But it's not just disorders, like I said, guys. It also has things to do with looks and just your genuine brain, right? The capacities within it, all this stuff. And like that's what I think is kind of stupid about the looks matching culture and all that stuff, you know? And that's the other problem with bodybuilding, guys. Like, a lot of guys get into lifting trying to look like these guys like Sam Sulik and all these people. And it's like, okay, well, first off, they're on hella steroids. Like, look at him, bro. You're telling me that he's natural? Seriously? Second off, you don't have the genetics to look like that at any point. It doesn't matter how hard you work, literally. It doesn't matter if you take the same steroids as him, eat the same calories, whatever. You're just not going to look like that. And honestly, guys, I'm going to be really real. It's not like liberals say either, where it's like, everyone has their own things that they're good at and bad at. No, guys. Like, seriously, you could be given 4 points, and this dude over here is given 40. And it's just like, there's no, and I'm saying in like potential points, right? This is just a system I just made up. It's not an actual thing. You know what I'm saying, though? And like, also, how do liberals say that shit? And then, never mind, actually, I'm not going to get religion involved. Nah, fuck it. How do liberals say that shit? You could be anyone you want. Everyone has their own benefits and their own downsides. And then they believe in like astrology and shit. You're given these traits. You know what I'm saying? But they won't even say you're given them genetically. They're not going to say genetically you're set up to fail. They're going to be like, your star sign and I aren't compatible. Some shit. It's racism for girls, guys. It's true. Yeah, but I don't know, guys. Like, I just think that we kind of stopped preaching to be smart with who we're mating with because of eugenics. After World War II, they're like, no eugenics, guys, this is horrible. Right after Hitler was like, I love American eugenics. Then they stopped it, and they stopped all the mantras that came with it and said, this is bad, guys, this is bad. And so, like, I'm not saying that eugenics are good, by the way. I'm just saying that a large part of eugenics also had to do with be selective of who you're gonna marry, who you're having children with, right? Who you're gonna have sex with. And like, the further down the line you go genetically, the more impurities start to come, right? And I'm not even talking from a mental illness point. Again, guys, I'm just talking from base traits. But like, yeah, you can play into them a lot. Like, you can seriously take your downsides and find your upsides, and like, you can play into it to make yourself like whatever, but you're never gonna reach certain points with certain genetic flaws, guys. And like, no one will say that to you, you know? It sucks, but it's true. Like, yeah, you can work hard and mitigate some of it, right? Like, if you have like a really low stimulus cap, you can work really hard and like sort of try and manage all the things going on in a restaurant, and like, it'll work. You're just gonna have to work 10 times harder than these other people, and they're gonna be still better than you at that point, probably, you know? It's the same thing with memory retention, guys. Like, you can work really hard and write things down to remember them, but the guy who doesn't have to look at his notes is gonna beat you if it's like a fucking memory puzzle or some shit, you know? But I don't even know why it's called a black pill. Honestly, guys, I feel like it has to do with incels thinking that like women like black men. That's what I would assume, because it's like, this is a very incel thing. All the pill things are very incel. I actually am gonna record after this about the incel community and like everyone being insecure and loving Andrew Tate and just the mass stupidity of our generation, you know. I'll upload that in a minute. But like, it sucks. Like, it's bad information to hear. But like, you're never gonna look like certain people, even if you lift weights in gua sha every morning. Everyone does the gua sha now. Everyone's into it. You can probably tell I'm not into it, you know. But anyways, guys. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it. Just learn your genetics. You can genuinely just look at patterns in your life and see how you compare to other people and find what's best. Like, you don't have to fucking go to get a test or some shit. Like, that's stupid, you know? But I also think that certain racial groups are more set towards certain traits, you know? And I'm not going to say what, but like, for example, black people can see better in the dark. It's proven. There's studies about it, right? That's a very real thing. And obviously there's also ones that are genetic that have to do with genders, right? So like, women are higher in agreeability, stuff like that, you know? It's kind of base traits given to people. So like, you're never going to be as good at being like, I don't know, like me as a man, I could never go out and talk to people who like are like all sad and shit on TV, because I'd be like, you know? But like, a woman could go, she's just higher in that trait, right? Same thing with compassion. Women are more compassionate, empathetic, all this. Yeah, I don't know, guys, I'm kind of ranting now. That's about it. That's really all I wanted to say. Just that everything's genetic, literally everything, including how much work you feel like you can do before you get tired and shit like that. Your muscles, like, it's literally everything. But just learn your suits, guys. That's it.